Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the 6 paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginning with time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Buddhisoma. Tayatam Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Buddhisoma. Tayatam Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Buddhisoma. Please excuse me for having to clear my throat. I lost my voice almost while I was doing the chanting. I don't know if you notice that sometimes if you're slightly blocked up, whether it's sinus or chest or throat or whatever, when you start chanting, the vibrations loosen things up. And that's what happened there twice. Apologize for that. Normally I'm reasonably clear before class. So obviously we are concluding the conclusions. Excuse my continuing joke about that. We'll do this week and next week, and then we will move on to the teachings on Zen Speaks, Shouts of Nothingness, which I'll keep it under the title Studying, Practicing, and Sharing the Dharma, the Pure Dharma with Pure Intentions, but I'll also call a commentary on various Zen teachings. Okay, so maybe I can show you the book right now. Put my glasses on. Very well used book. I think it was actually secondhand when I first got it. It was a gift to me by the nun Yifa Fasher from Foguanshan Silai Temple when I was teaching there. I had a lot to do with her. And so it comes in, I've mentioned to you before, it comes in cartoon form, but it is, there's sort of teaching, some of them very deep. And yeah, so there's actually 157 157 teachings, which is actually, it's not just that, that's also the preface and the introduction and what is Zen and so forth. Oh, no, it's not actually. That's the page numbers. I'm lucky. So 157 pages, basically. The teachings aren't numbered, but there's a fair few. Some of them are simple. Some of them I've shared with you already before. And so, I don't know, I'll have a little look at it in the next week or so, see whether I actually read to you the intro and stuff like that. It's possibly a good idea to do so. We'll see. So that's that. That cute, isn't it? It's hopefully not shining on the page. Mum's been using that. She gets a physio come to the house every Thursday afternoon. And while Mum is waiting for the physio, she's been reading that. So I'll have to find a new book for her, because this will live upstairs now, not downstairs where she gets the physio. So let's do some meditation. And before we continue the conclusions, we'll probably finish today, and then I'll wrap up properly next week. And then we'll have, I think, 13th of May, we start the new subject, or 13th of June, I should say. All right, so get yourself comfortable, and let's release the tension in the body. So releasing from the bottom of the feet, the balls, the arches, toes, heels, the top of the feet, and around your ankles and Achilles tendons. Then your lower legs, the calf muscles and shins. Up to your knees. And also release whatever tension you may have in your upper legs and the quad muscles and hamstrings and so on. Up to the midsection, to the groin and the hips, hip flexors, the glutes. And your lower back, the sides, lower abdomen. Further up your stomach, and your sides to the center of your back. And your upper back, rhomboid muscles, lateral muscles underneath your arms and your chest. And from your upper trap muscles between the neck and the shoulders. And also the shoulders. All the way down your arms to the tips of your fingers. And from all around your neck. And the back and sides of your head. And your ears, temples. And release from all around your face as well. Around your cheekbones and cheeks. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw. From your chin and mouth. Nose, sinuses, eye sockets and eyes. Have a nice relaxed forehead. And finally, release from the crown of your head. Bring your focus back inside your body, and from the bottom to the top, scan it again briefly to see if there's any leftover tension, and if there is, release it. Now bring your focus to the tip of your nose initially, and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose all the way into your lungs and back out your nose again. Continue breathing in and breathing out and focusing on the feeling of the breath as you do this. So breathing in and breathing out is all you have to do physically, and focusing on this feeling of the breath is all you have to do mentally. And of course, if your mind wanders, then replace it back onto the rightly. You can also add the extra technique of counting the breaths from 1 up to 10. 1 in breath, 1 out breath is 1, and so on. But if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So if any thoughts or mental agitation, mental excitement arises, don't cling to it or grasp at it, try to force it away or deny it. But simply and naturally replace your mind back onto your breath. And as you do so, let go of these thoughts or activities mentally. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, then wake it up a little bit by refocusing on your breath more brightly. Breathing in and breathing out. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. Every now and then when you do the breath meditation, just check your intentions. Make sure that you have the right intention, the right purpose on why it is you're practicing this meditation. To purify your mind, to develop more concentration and so on. Practicing Dharma in the right direction. So now we can feel very pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Can utilize visualizing your whole being filling with the white light, which represents universal loving kindness. Remembering that universal loving kindness is not separate from universal compassion, universal empathetic joy, and equanimity, the four immeasurables. Really respect yourself, accept yourself, forgive yourself if need be. Kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. And also we can realize the interconnectedness of all beings and all things. So fill yourself with so much loving kindness that it now overflows and radiates outwards, initially to your loved ones, family and friends, filling them with the universal loving kindness too. Wishing that they are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. And that also includes strangers. And also those you may regard as enemies. Filling all of these people with universal loving kindness. Having the wish that they are happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. And now we can do likewise as we engage in radiating our loving kindness out further and further distance-wise to all sentient beings now. All of the sentient beings that live in the waters, on the land, fly through the air, whether born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation. May all of these sentient beings have happiness, be free from suffering, and be peaceful. So they are filled with the universal white light, universal love, or loving kindness. Radiate this loving kindness throughout your whole state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout your country. And all of the countries throughout the world, as well as all of the bodies of water, such as the oceans and so on. Radiate to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. This is the work for those who are skilled and peaceful, who seek the good. May they be able and upright, honest, with gentle speech and not proud. May they be content and easily supported, unburdened with their senses calmed. May they be wise and not arrogant, and without desire for the possessions of others. May they do nothing mean or that the wise would reprove. May all sentient beings be happy. May they live in safety and joy. All sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy. Let no one deceive or despise another being in any state. Let none by anger or hatred wish harm upon another. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her own life, let one radiate this boundless love to the entire world, above and below and in all directions, without hindrance, without ill will, without enmity. Standing or walking, sitting or lying down, during all one's waking hours, may one remain mindful of this heart and this way of living that is the best in the world. Unattached to speculations, views, and sense desires, with clear vision, such a person will never be reborn in the cycles of suffering. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her own life, let one radiate this boundless love towards the entire world. That's abbreviated slightly. So throughout all of the world, throughout all of the solar system, we radiate this universal love and kindness. And throughout the galaxy and universe, and throughout infinite space. Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so let one radiate this boundless love towards the entire world and beyond. We need to develop this love and kindness in our own mind first, and then radiate it outwards infinitely. So now we can feel very pleased once again, and we won't do the other meditations this week. We'll do them next week. We'll do the forgiveness meditation and also the Tonglen or giving-taking meditation. But I wanted to sort of finish this today. The conclusions of the commentary on the article Meditation and Its Benefits, Getting to Know Your Mind. So we can do the dedication prayer now. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta not yet born rise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata not yet born rise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And so, like I said, we'll do all of the meditations that we have been practicing next week, but I wanted to finish just there today. But I wanted to make a point. I wanted to recite pretty much most of the heart, or the Loving Kindness Sutra, and especially make a point of starting in their own mind. So we should love all sentient beings as a mother would love her own child, and protect this child with her life. And we should have this feeling towards all sentient beings, and then of course increase that as we do in the loving kindness meditation. So I hadn't recited that sutra for a while, so in class. Of course, for myself, I recite it every day, at least once. So conclude is what I've written. Conclude, number 7, 30th of May. The end of May already. It's amazing, isn't it? Time doesn't stand still. But actually, time doesn't move either. I know I've mentioned this many times before and said it in different ways. There is no time. Past is gone, future's not here. And the present is fleeting. So we'll have a look at this. And then, like I said, next week we'll do the meditations, but also if I think of anything else I want to say, then I will. I already have thought of what I will say. In fact, I'll start with it, okay? So next week, like I said, I'll think of some things to say. If I don't, then we talk about something else and maybe start the new subject. See, I was going to talk about this next week, but I'll do it right now. Anger. Loving kindness is the antidote for anger and hatred. And of course, other negative emotions, as is the great compassion and empathy and equanimity. They are antidotes for negative emotions, the negative mental afflictions. Anger. Some people think anger's okay. Need to release the anger. Don't bottle it up. That's right. Don't bottle it up. But release it through being proactive and looking after your mind. Don't release it through getting angry and blowing up. As the example I use often, a kettle. For the kettle to boil the water, there has to be an opening for it. Otherwise, if there's boiled water, once it gets to the boiling point, doesn't have an opening, it'll turn into a bomb, it'll explode. And so this happens to a lot of people. They bottle it up and they don't release it, and then they just burst with anger. Now, it is said that we destroy so much good merit, so much good karma that we may have collected over a very long time, or collected or accumulated, I should say. In one moment of fully blown anger, we destroy so much of this good karma, this merit. Okay, so make sure you don't let yourself get fully blown anger. It's very hard to pull back if it's fully blown. And of course, it's based on this belief in self of other. And sometimes because we feel, I call it like a victim syndrome. We all feel like victims, people picking on us, or we feel like we're being mistreated or something like that. But all of this is just comes and goes, it's just all changing phenomena, changing circumstances, changing me, changing you. And if we can realize that, even though if it's still on the surface, realize that as soon as we feel the frustration or anger starts to rise, then deal with it at that moment. Nip the negativity in the bud. Find your buffer zone and utilize the buffer zone in between the experience and the reaction to the experience. Create a gap in there, and look after your mind. The other things to do with anger, and I thought about this while we were doing the releasing the tension meditation. In between the shoulder blades, we have the rhomboid muscles. If we get angry and get tense, we tend to sort of pull on this, and then the upper trap muscles are affected, and then up the back of the neck, and you can get headaches. So anger can cause you headaches, can cause you to have toxins being released from your body. So we get to be a bit stinky. Our breath gets a bit stinky. So all of these things that we don't want, anger will cause if you act out on it. Okay. So make sure you look after your mind from having anger arise and then you explode like the kettle without the opening. Okay, so I wanted to mention that. I may elaborate a little bit more next week, but I just thought about it today, while we were doing that meditation, while I was giving the instruction. I thought, I should remind you about that. Okay, so the bit, how's the time going? So the bit that we look at now, and it relates to what I just said. If we keep our mind upright without wavering, remaining without greed and desire, and we live conscientiously in the present moment, then whatever we do is practicing the Dharma. So, protect your mind, be proactive, not reactive, as mentioned. Use the buffer zone in between your experience and the reaction to the experience. So in other words, once again, be proactive, not reactive. Especially reacting with negative emotions such as anger, which is said to be the most destructive of emotions, of negative emotions. So if we keep the mind upright, obviously this means to maintain a wholesome state of mind, maintain wholesome thoughts, and as we relinquish the unwholesome as well, protect our mind from having them arise, so on. And then maintain this really good, stable, clear mind. Then whatever we do is practicing the Dharma. We will improve as we do this. I won't mention too much to do with these because I gave really detailed commentary not too long ago now, only say a couple of months ago, on these paragraphs. And we live conscientiously in the present moment. So, don't dwell on the past. You can learn from it for sure. Don't always plan for the future, giving rise to some sort of anxiety, worries, and so on. But live in this present moment conscientiously. Conscientious in the sense of looking after your mind. Conscientious in caring for others, not being selfish, self-centered. And then in this present moment, then whatever we do is practicing Dharma. Our practice is not just about external forms. So it's not just about the outside stuff and how we deal with outside stuff. It is about experiencing with our mind. Remember the 5 skandhas? So we have the form, that's our physicality, that's the first skandha. Then we have the 4 that relate to mentality. We have the feelings or mental sensations, perception, mental formations or mental impulses, if you like, and consciousness. And so, yes, we do experience outside phenomena, but we experience with the mind. So we perceive something with our mind. And then, unless we check ourselves, then we mentally react to it. Quite often, impulsively, if that's our habit. So we're bringing the past habits into the present, but also this has an element of volition, intention. It can either be wholesome, unwholesome, or neutral. So we create the karma at that moment, okay, which leaves the karmic imprint on the consciousness. I won't go into any more detail than that, okay. So our practice is not just about external form, it is about experiencing with our mind. When the mind is clear and stable, our behavior will not go astray. So when you have this stable mind and clear mind, you're not going to follow through with bad actions, bad words. You may, if it's a habit, but normally we follow the mind, isn't it? Especially if we train our mind reasonably well already. Then we're going to stop ourselves from, first of all, continuing some unwholesomeness if it has arisen in the mind. You eradicate that, through good practice, but also in relation to our physical actions and our verbal actions. We will not go astray. So you can say the mind is chief. If you maintain a wholesome state of mind, then the physicality in relation to our physical actions and our verbal actions will follow suit. Not only will we be happy, but others will also feel safe and secure in our company. This is also practice. So we create our own happiness by accumulating merit, accumulating goodness, and also at the same time, others will feel happy around us. They'll feel safe. And as we communicate with others, they may just listen to what we've had to say, and they may put it into practice. Or maybe it's not what we say. Maybe that's because our actions are good. They may follow suit as well for themselves. This way we can silently be a good influence on others as well. The mind must be clear and stable and not follow the changing external environment. So as we know, from a relative point of view, everything's changing outside, isn't it? It's impermanent. Everything around us, in this room, in your room, nature, everything, this screen, and it's always moving, isn't it? Even if it's only me going like that. So everything's changing, but don't have your mind change in a negative way. Be affected by these changing circumstances, always being swayed by them. If you get good conditions, don't create more attachment to them and cling to them. If you have unsavory conditions, don't give in to having an aversion, dislike, even a hatred for them. Don't be swayed by these changing circumstances. When a situation arises, our mind shouldn't be swayed immediately by our surroundings. As I just said, this is practice. So I'll put those three little paragraphs together because they actually do go together, the initial article that I wrote them for. If we keep our mind upright without wavering, remaining without greed and desire, we live conscientiously in the present moment, then whatever we do is practicing the Dharma. Our practice is not just about external form. It is about experiencing with our mind. When the mind is clear and stable, our behavior will not go astray. Not only will we be happy, others will also feel safe and secure in our company. This is practice. The mind must be clear and stable and not follow the changing external environment. When a situation arises, our mind shouldn't be swayed immediately by our surroundings. This is practice. Now, these 3 paragraphs I wrote with a few other paragraphs for a short teaching, a short article, after reading a book on the teaching of emptiness and how to put this into practice by Master Shinyan, actually from Dharma Mountain Temple in Taiwan. And used to get a lot of his books and read them, and then also get a lot of them to take to the prison, and some to hospitals, and to give away to other students as well. And so I remember reading this commentary on emptiness and being inspired to write these few verses. So in a sense, maybe it's a shortened version of what I'd read, maybe in a whole chapter or something. Just thought I'd share that with you. And then I put it in this article because I thought it made sense. How are we doing? 2 minutes 30. Have a great time getting to know your mind. Keep your mind calm, clear, flexible, and wholesome as much as possible. Let go of any unwholesome thoughts or attitudes. Be peaceful, loving, and kind. That's all. Quite simple and uncomplicated. And I don't know if you remember, but I started this commentary by speaking about that last little sentence. Even though it's the end of the article, the teaching, I spoke about it first. Quite simple and uncomplicated. What makes it complicated are our mental afflictions. Reality is not simple in the sense of dumb, simple as in uncomplicated, non-confused. Empty space, think about that as an example. Empty space hosts living beings, huge physical bodies, all sorts of energies, tiniest little things, but is unaffected by any of it. Some things very destructive, some things may be being created, but the space is unaffected. So this is how we would like our mind to be. Very stable, very open, very, what do we say? Calm, clear, flexible, wholesome. Be peaceful, loving, and kind. 1 minute to go now. So, hello. So I rejoice in your peacefulness, in your loving kindness, in your compassion, in your efforts to listen to the Dharma, to contemplate the Dharma, and to put the Dharma into practice. And I rejoice in your meritorious goodness, as I always do. Not just during this class, by the way, always, every day. And so fill your mind, fill your whole being with the goodness, with the rejoicing in the goodness. And then you'll have no worries, even in difficult times. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya.